Limitless Wrestling fans. Jon Alba and Randy Carver here, back on another edition of the Limitless Wrestling Podcast. Thank you to Mr. Josh Nason for standing in last week. He did a great job. You guys talked for a long time last week.
We did, yeah. It was one of the longer episodes, but a really fun chat. I like diving in depth on those show reviews anyway, so I thought it was a fun episode.
Yeah, no doubt. And Josh is obviously doing real great stuff over at F4W Online, the Wrestling Observer. He's a longtime supporter of Limitless Wrestling, so it is great to have him in the bag, and we appreciate his help. And I thought he did a great job, so thank you for that, my friend. My schedule has been absolutely just crazy. I say that every week, but things have really heated up as we approach high school football season here in Florida. You're still a long way away from high school football season up there, I feel like. You got 3 more weeks,
I think we're
right?
over a month away. So.
Oh my goodness, it's insane. And then half of those games will get moved because it rains. Get over it. Come on. What's that about?
It happens.
It's rain.
I know. Hey, I don't make the rules.
It's rain and football. I don't need any of that. I never saw you at any football games, but I definitely saw you at a lot of basketball games when I was up there.
I would hit football games on occasion. I would always hit the high school basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
They'd always come to the Cross Center, but I'd hit UMaine football games every now and then. I'd see you, but you're just big leaguing on the side.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. My hair did look great. But yeah, that's exciting times ahead. It also means insanity. Serenity now, insanity later. But welcome to another edition of the Limitless Wrestling Podcast. And it is one of our favorites that we do here on the Limitless Wrestling Podcast. It is an Ask Limitless. But before we get to some questions, we are going to preview a couple of upcoming shows, starting with Let's Wrestle, August 17th in Orono, Maine. What do we got in store for that, Randy?
So it's this Saturday, Orono, Maine, our return to the American Legion Post 84. Front row tickets are sold out. If you want general admission tickets, they're just $10 on limitlesswrestling.com. We've got the Let's Wrestle Championship on the line. Classic Calvin Strange defends against Aiden Agro. We've got a last man standing match. The prize, Alec Price, going one-on-one with CJ Cruz. We've got a Let's Wrestle Tag Team Championship match, the first ever tag champs to be crowned. Team Hispana, the Stigma, Team Mad, and the Syndicate all getting a shot there. Danger Kid going one-on-one with your boy, the main attraction, Mac Daniels. Dave Yen collides with Masha Slamovich. Channing Thomas going one-on-one with Brett Ryan Gosling. And then we've got a ton of other names yet announced for a match. Kennedy Copeland, Alexander Lee, Sierra, TJ Crawford, Scott Wilde, Corinne Mink, Owen Brody, and the Dirty Drifters.
Oh, those Dirty Drifters.
So I love the Dirty Drifters.
We haven't really delved into this whole tag team championship stuff. Why here and not Limitless?
Well, I think at this point, Let's Wrestle does have a more consistent tag team division, and that's just for the simple fact that a lot of the teams that have come through Limitless Wrestling or have been constant Limitless Wrestling are unfortunately not always able to be booked for several shows in a row. A lot of the teams that we bring in are fairly busy, like the Butcher and the Blade, or an LAX, for instance. LAX is a team who I try to get all the time, and they're booked up. Main State Posse, Thick Boys. There's only really a few teams who are in Limitless Wrestling, I would say, consistently as of every show. So I think we've mentioned it here a couple times, but I think a tag team division with championships would be just much tougher to actually come to fruition in Limitless Wrestling than Let's Wrestle.
So who has shown that they're the hungriest for these titles, in your opinion?
I mean, if we're going by literal hungriest, I would say the Dirty Drifters, because they're always asking.
Well, they're starving. They're physically starving.
I don't know. We saw dominant performances from the Syndicate and the Stigma at our last event, Volume 8.
Well,
Team
not just
Mad
that, but
also,
the Syndicate has been in all these huge matches in Let's Wrestle in the last calendar year, especially the last 4 months or so. They had some big-time matches.
The last 4 or 5 months, they've been in huge matches, but unfortunately, they have nothing really to show for it right now. So this could be the momentum changer for the Syndicate, if they can get a tag team victory here. Owen Brody's going to be in singles action, so if they can get a clean sweep here and walk out with the tag team championships, that's nothing to sneeze at for the syndicate. But we've also got Team Mad in here, Perry Von Vicious, Iron Rip Bison, formerly known as Tomahawk. These are two guys who have come into Let's Wrestle, I would say, within the past 5 months and really not only shown that they want to be here, but shown that they can really handle the competition thrown at them. They absolutely obliterated the Dirty Drifters last show. They've had good performances at not only the live events, but at the studio tapings. So they really earned this one. And then Team Espana is actually a suggestion from Danger Kid. This is a team coming in from the New York, New Jersey area who, from everything that I've heard, very excited about, and they could, walk in here day one and become the Let's Wrestle Tag Team Champions. And that'd be huge for them and would obviously earn them future spots here at Let's Wrestle. So very excited for it. This is a four-way dance style, so it is elimination tag. So it's going to come down to two teams, but I'm very excited for it. Very excited to crown the first ever Let's Wrestle Tag Champs.
We'll get to the championship match in a second, but I want to hit on my boy Mac Daniels one-on-one with the Danger Kid. You're throwing him into the fire. Is this a sink or swim kind of thing for him?
I mean, I'm not. This match is straight up per general manager Johnny Torres because for anyone who was there, we saw the actions of Mac Daniels after losing to Brett Ryan Gosling at Volume 8. He shoved referee Eric Greenleaf right down to the mat. Had some words with him and was none too pleased with how it shook out for him.
Did you see what Eric Greenleaf did in the match?
Well,
are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding me?
You weren't there.
I've seen the video.
Eric Greenleaf into the rope.
I've seen the video. He bumped into him, okay? It was incidental contact. Eric Greenleaf bounces off the ropes because, again, he weighs 17 pounds, so there's nothing to him. He bounces off, and because he's just so clumsy, bumps into Mac Daniels, who, even though, like I said, he's only 17 pounds, you make a little bit of contact. Even if I flick your wrist, your hand's going to move a little bit. And Brett took advantage of that. An official influenced one of your matches. What is this, the NFL?
Listen, we all know what happened. Mac Daniels was getting testy throughout the match, too. He was barking at Eric Greenleaf, and he put his hands on him, and it cost him. So now, Johnny Torres straight up said to me it's not going to roll that way in Let's Wrestle. And now, I don't think this is a bad thing for Mac Daniels. I think, if anything, it's an opportunity because now he's getting to wrestle one of the top, not only top names in Let's Wrestle, but one of the pillars of Limitless Wrestling as well. So that's a statement match if I've ever seen one.
Have you spoken to Mac Daniels about this match?
I haven't. I'm meeting up with him with a camera on Tuesday.
Have you spoken to Danger Kid about this match?
Danger Kid is very excited about this matchup.
He did see how, his brethren was taken to the limit by Mac Daniels, correct?
Yeah, taken to the limit, but not defeated.
There was some other tomfoolery there that we're not even going to go into, but you can you can see that match on the Limitless Wrestling YouTube. So go ahead, there's your little plug for it. So
yeah,
people can
head on over to youtube.com/Limitless Wrestling. Most of the Let's Wrestle shows actually have been posted match by match in full. If you want to find them, just go to the playlist section, and most of them are actually all within the playlist. I know that match for sure is up there.
And then you got Aiden Agro versus classic Calvin Strange for the Let's Wrestle Championship. This is a big opportunity for Aiden Agro. Aiden Agro, for as accomplished as he is, very seldom has he held a singles title.
Yeah, I think maybe twice in the state of Maine throughout his 5 or 6 years of wrestling.
And he just happened to have it with me on his side, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. As you said, big opportunity because really, other than Let's Wrestle and Limitless, I don't think Aiden Agro and Danger Kid get a ton of big singles opportunities. I would say now in Chaotic as well, they're having some singles matches. I know Agro just wrestled Josh Briggs the other night, but they don't get a ton, and that's why I think Let's Wrestle is really not only important but really cool because we get to see different layers of different competitors like Danger Kid, like Aiden Agro, and like a Calvin Strange too, who I think a lot of the Limitless fan base was not really accustomed to, other than he refereed the Wet Hot American Street Fight last summer, and he's been a host on some YouTube shows. But now I think fans are getting to see that other level of Calvin Strange, where he's been a very successful competitor in Let's Wrestle so far, not only defeating Davian to become the Let's Wrestle champion, but defeating CJ Cruz at the Biddeford Festival, defeating Danger Kid and Owen Brody at Volume 8. And now he's got Aiden Agro in singles competition, which is very interesting because, as we said last week, Aiden Agro is the only member of MSP, whether, member now or former member in Alexander Lee's case. Aiden Agro is the only member that Calvin Strange has not pinned to the mat 1, 2, 3 in a Let's Wrestle ring. So he's going to either have to do that or submit Aiden Agro to walk out with the championship on Saturday. And I'm not sure he can do it.
Yeah, and on top of that, I do want to mention that this week we got some sad news about the Storm Wrestling Academy, which, of course, Calvin Strange, the only Mainer to have ever been trained by Lance Storm up there. That's closing its doors after 15 years.
Yeah, kind of wild. I would assume that this is not the end of the road for Lance Storm, so I think it's probably going to be some bummer news followed by some good news. But kind of a surprise, kind of out of left field. And I know I actually talked to Calvin about that yesterday because it came out as kind of a surprise. But I really have a lot of respect for the SWA because there's been a lot of talented guys who I've either worked with or come in contact with from that. And, just really good stuff coming out of there every time.
Lance Storm, man, one of those guys, just one of the most underrated mat wrestlers and technicians of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. And trainers, I would say, too, because everyone, as I said, everyone I've come in contact with who's either just gone there for a camp or has, been trained there for multiple months, they've picked up some very good things from Storm. So,
no doubt.
Good luck to him on whatever's next.
No doubt. And then, of course, Limitless Wrestling at the Portland Expo September 6th. Under 60 floor seats remain for this. How have ticket sales been going?
Very good. We're actually closing in. I think within a week, we're going to blow away our previous attendance record. So everything's been looking very good so far. Over 500 tickets gone for Know Your Enemy on September 6th. So very happy about that. And we've honestly, this is with minimal promotion started. A lot of our ads and any promotion stuff starts this coming week. So to be at this point without any of that is very, awesome so far. And honestly, much further ahead than what I expected, but we still got a lot to do. Still got a lot of tickets to sell. So I'm hoping it keeps up.
Know Your Enemy. Where'd the title come from?
Rage Against the Machine. Are you not a punk rocker?
No. I just want to know. I just want to know.
Oh.
I know.
Didn't know if you knew your Rage.
I was driving much faster than I should have been down the highway to Rage Against the Machine the other night. So I am very much. I know Green Day did a song "Know Your Enemy," which is trash, and you kind of like some trash things, so I wasn't sure where that came from.
That was the fucking SmackDown theme song for a while.
You're damn right it was. Exactly.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad of a song. Yeah, it's not the best. I love
early Green Day, but
yeah.
Anyway, Know Your Enemy. We got some great matches announced. First off, when you announced this match, I started to smile when I saw it come across my screen. The Workhorsemen versus the New Heart Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, what else could we have done?
Tag team wrestling extravaganza.
Yeah. What other match could we have done? I think that's from the moment that we announced these two teams. I think there were a lot of people who were very much hoping for this match, and I just think the matchup is so crazy because you think of Anthony Henry and Teddy Hart trading in the center of the ring, or James Drake and Davey Boy trading. It's just insane. This is so many possible scenarios that can come with any card. But this one, when piecing this one together, this one was without a doubt something that we had to do. So I'm very excited for it.
Hair versus Career, Jeremy Leary and Skylar versus Chris Statlander and Ashley Vox. If Chris Statlander loses, if her team loses, Chris Statlander's gone from Limitless Wrestling.
Correct. And if old Jeremy Leary and Skylar lose, then the best hair in professional wrestling is
no more.
I guess no more.
Is Bradford the barber going to be standing by?
Oh yeah, Bradford's Jones. Yeah, Bradford will be there. We're gonna make sure that we have a legitimate, barbershop setup, because
any windows for people to go through.
I don't know about that. I don't know if we need to get a window in there and have someone go through it, because there's gonna be gonna be no good to come from a barbershop window being in there. You know this, but yeah, we'll have a barbershop set up, and then it's very someone screamed that they love lucha shit when this was announced, and this is very lucha libre,
Yeah.
where it's
I told you, man.
it's a
Lucha stay
legitimate, if
apuestas.
Chris Statlander loses, she's legitimately gone from Limitless Wrestling. If Jeremy Leary loses, the head's shaved. I mean, that's as lucha as you can get, I suppose. And I think, what better place to do a match of this magnitude than our biggest show of all time.
The the Limitless Wrestling Championship on the line. MJF and Retro Anthony Green. You posted the video of AG winning the Vacation Land Cup the other day. Just that big time moment. Does he have one more big one left in him?
This is the time, man. It's kind of cool because we're, looking at this, taking a step back in the grand scheme of this. We've got MJF, who is, a couple months away from starting, the biggest chapter in his career with All Elite Wrestling. We've got Anthony Green, who just a month ago was opening up Evolve Wrestling show on the WWE Network.
And he's going to be on it again.
Is he really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
When is this?
Let's see. I got to find the date.
Uncovering new information for me here. Yeah. I love it.
Let's see here.
I'm not surprised, though. I saw fucking Austin Theory was on TakeOver last night in the crowd.
Let's see.
They did the old crowd shot.
Stand by as I look for it. They announced more shows. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the network, and if it's not, I'm sure we'll see video of it somehow surface on there. I got to find it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. It might be their August weekend.
Yeah. Matt Riddle's going to be at the shows and all that stuff. Matt Riddle's a guy I would have killed to have seen in Limitless Wrestling, by the way. I know that's like stating the obvious, but like the dream matchups of Matt Riddle and Limitless Wrestling.
I know we've talked about it before, but I'll just mention it just because I know we do have some new listeners recently, which is awesome. Matt Riddle was actually supposed to be on our July of 2016 event against JT Dunn. That would have been a hook, line, and sinker. And he was in an unfortunate car accident on the way to the show, so that ended up being JT Dunn, Brian Fury, and Anthony Green in a triple threat.
And then Matt Riddle was really good then, but like now where he's at, I genuinely do believe he's like one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, I would take that stance as well. I thoroughly enjoy, because I don't watch a ton of wrestling anymore, but I thoroughly enjoy when I watch like a Matt Riddle match.
It's just, and I tweeted this did you see Cain Velasquez at AAA, at Triple Mania?
Really?
Did you see what he did?
No.
So he made his pro wrestling debut, and he was like a fish in water. And I tweeted, if you're an MMA fighter, I don't care if you've made it to UFC or you haven't made it to UFC or whatever, go do pro wrestling. You're going to be really good at it. You are going to be excellent. So it's just, man, it's crazy. And I do apologize. The shows apparently will not be streamed on the network, but they're featuring a ton of talent, and AG is in one of the featured matches. And yeah, Josh Briggs just happens to be all over WWE.com. So
is that the AG Kurt Stallion show?
I believe so.
That'll be exciting. Yeah. I'm honestly very excited to see that one.
So pretty awesome stuff there.
Yeah.
Also appearing at this show, you got the Butcher and the Blade, as you mentioned. Finally, we got Filthy Tom Lawler, speaking of MMA.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that. That was one that I did not know if it was going to come to fruition, because MLW usually needs their talent a day ahead of time to do pre-tapes, but luckily they're doing them Sunday, so that left the window open to get all this talent who is with MLW as well.
That's your boy, Harlow O'Hara. Jody Threat. Talk about that.
Yeah, stoked about Jody Threat. She's actually just coming off a WWE tryout this weekend in Toronto. So good shit for her. Jody's another one who we've been trying to book at least since the beginning of this year. I think she's really unique, and honestly, I think she's going to fit in really well with Limitless roster. I wouldn't be surprised if after one showing she becomes someone who's heavily requested to come back. So I'm very excited that we finally got this locked down.
Christian Casanova, your boy Chris Dickinson, AR Fox is back, and MSP and all the drama that's going on there. So exciting stuff. ahead, and we will have much more on this show as it approaches. I promise you that. You want to
Yeah,
answer
and I
some
think
questions?
I
Go
think
ahead.
this upcoming week we're going to have at least 2 other match announcements too that we can
Excellent.
talk about next week. So.
Excellent. All right, you want to answer some questions here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Hashtag Ask Limitless. We asked you, and now you ask us. Alex asks, you've mentioned doing monthly shows in the future. Have you thought of having some of the shows with a gimmick or a theme?
Yes. Danger Kid pitches this to me all the time. So I do think definitely with us potentially doing more shows as the year closes and 2020 approaches, I definitely think we'll see some themed shows for sure.
Now, when you say that, can you explain to people what you mean by that?
Yeah. So I guess the easiest way to do it would be like, I don't know, like
a TLC pay-per-view, like you're talking
yeah,
like a theme like that.
yeah, like if there was some kind of theme to the show, or like I don't know, every match has some certain stipulation, or like I don't know, Money in the Bank, for instance. I was even thinking like how some promotions do like Halloween themed shows. You know what I mean? I don't know what they would be yet. Like I honestly have not put too much thought into it. Like the only, I don't know if we'd even call it a themed show, but the only like reoccurring thing that we have right now is the Vacation Land Cup. But I definitely think that we'll put some thought into it, especially because I think we are looking at having a show in October and November. So we'll definitely look into different ideas for that. But definitely as the shows keep rolling in, we'll be looking at some more themes or gimmicks.
Get a Stephen King horrors match. All fits in. Jessica asks, what is your biggest anticipation, a match announcement, predicted attendance for this upcoming Limitless show? Do you think it will be the biggest show attendance-wise in Limitless history? Well, yeah, we are anticipating that.
Yeah.
So what is your biggest anticipation? If you
I'm
can
not
even reveal
entirely
that.
sure.
Can you reveal that?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think the biggest anticipation is probably just continuously watching how people react to this card coming together, because I've been looking at it for weeks and making, little tweaks here and there, but like I think top to bottom this is probably the best, Limitless lineup we've ever had. So I'm always just very excited to get the lineup out there, see what people think, and then really get to work on, promoting this show.
Bowden52 asks, with the possibility of more frequent shows, do you have plans to run shows outside the greater Portland area like New Hampshire? I feel like we get this question every single Ask Limitless we do, so there's certainly a desire for it.
Yeah, I've been talking, as much of a bummer as it is, I have been talking to Joey Eastman because he is kind of plugged in the New Hampshire area. I do think that New Hampshire is a possibility. We're looking to still expand in the Portland area, and I know we say that every time, but we've had a couple meetings with, some different buildings in the Portland Westbrook area, as well as Yarmouth recently, which is, 12 minutes outside of Portland. I've also been back in touch with the Bangor Arts Exchange because I would like to potentially do a double shot weekend where we do maybe a Portland or Westbrook event followed up by a Bangor event. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I don't know, just be on the lookout for anything. New Hampshire is definitely not off the table. It's something that we've talked about at length. So I don't know if I see it coming together by the end of this year, but maybe by, I don't know, March, I would say. I'd like to have something in place for maybe an out-of-state show, maybe even something with Blitzkrieg again. I know there's a question about that too, and I'm jumping the gun, but I don't know. We're looking around.
Well, to follow up on your venue question, Ian asks, what's your dream venue in Maine, and have you had talks or negotiations with them?
My dream venue.
You've said you'd love to run like a real show at the Cross Center.
Yeah, I'd love to run a real show at the Cross. I think one of my dreams is like the Port City Music Hall. I'm a big fan of that layout, and I think that we could do a really fun setup in there. I have had, I wouldn't call them talks, but just I've been declined before from them. So I don't know if it's gonna happen necessarily soon, but that would be one of the dream venues, I would say for sure.
Steven asks, who really has the best hair in pro wrestling? It's not Jeremy Leary.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, John. Take a smack at this one. You're the hair guy here.
No, I'm just saying. In 2018, the Get Good Head Association, rather, awarded
The
yours.
what?
That was, we've talked about this. Get Good Head named me the 2018 Harry Award winner for best hair in all of Maine newscasting. So, I'm just saying. I mean,
You
like,
have a Get Good Head award?
it's a Harry Award, but the
Okay.
organization is Get Good Head.
Gotcha.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
I don't either. I'm happy for you. I think that's a prestigious honor.
I would agree with that. Outside of
all right.
me, who has great hair?
Let's do this for Limitless, though.
Okay.
What's your, other than take yourself out of this equation, and Jeremy Leary, of course.
I like Sydney Bacabella's hair.
That's a horrible answer. Come on.
Who's got good hair in Limitless Wrestling? Let's see here. I don't know. This is tough. This is
a tough question.
This is tough.
What do you think of Lil Blaze hair?
Yeah, I like Skylar's hair. I like Skylar's hair more than Jeremy Leary's hair.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% in that boat.
Let's see. Men. I don't know. There's not too much standout hair in Limitless Wrestling. Truthfully.
No?
I mean, AG's got those retro curls going on now. I can appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, is there any...
MJF's usually got something going on.
Yeah, MJF's got a good look.
What do they call it? I don't know. What's hair lingo?
I don't know what you're referring to.
I don't know either.
As my girlfriend affectionately calls them on men, Jew curls.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. There's a little bit of that going on.
We need to get Bradford on here for some
to break
expertise.
it down. Yeah, we could work on that. We could definitely work on that.
Tweet us. Actually, I want to know this. Tweet at LW Maine. Let me know who in your opinion is the best hair in Limitless Wrestling, and please don't side with Jeremy Leary.
No, but if you do side with someone else here, you might get a retweet out of it. So,
Jesus, come on.
Some incentive here. Jared asks, how are wristbands working at the upcoming show? Saw them listed when I purchased my floor seats.
I'm very glad that we got this question because we've never done wristbands before. So this is how it's going to work. Front row and VIP, they're going to get the same wristband as they enter. Now, obviously, VIP is going to enter at 6:30. Front row is going to enter at 7. The same wristband is going to be given because obviously they're all sitting in the same front row. Floor seats will be given a separate wristband, different color, different lettering on it as well. There's only 2 wristbands. So there's going to be a front row wristband and a floor seat wristband. So that way, any ushers on the floor, just in case we have any seating issues or just need someone to move sections, or I don't know, if anything were to pop up where someone may be missing their seat or anything of that nature, we can know what section you're supposed to be in, and we can fix it for you. So anyone who's going to be in a bleacher seat, so whoever purchased this ticket, Jared, he must have got a regular floor seat, because the GA bleacher seats, you will not be receiving a wristband. You're going to get in the same way that you do for every Limitless show. You're just going to be stamped on the hand, and you're going to be free to go. So that's pretty much how that's working.
Tiered seating and stadium seating at a Limitless show. That's something new.
Yeah, dude, it feels pretty weird because we've had to we've had several meetings with the city of Portland within the past week just about how we're doing this floor plan, and they're actually super easy to work with, which is awesome. So floor plan has been all set, and I think there will actually be an even more detailed floor plan up on the website within the next week that kind of shows you seat by seat how this is going to shake out.
I love it. Good stuff there. Very exciting. Mikey asks, for both parties, as in you and I, who has the best theme music in Limitless and Let's Wrestle? Now,
okay,
I was partial to my own music. Just saying. I had a badass theme. I have a badass theme. It's great. And it was custom made, if I may add. But if we're talking more generally speaking, because I know you're not going to say me, so I have to give myself a pat on the back.
Yeah, give yourself the rub. Anthony Green,
Yeah.
the Belinda Carlisle making a reappearance at the Vacation Land Cup, that got me good. Honestly, like I hate to give your boy a rub on the podcast, but Mac Daniels has a very good theme song.
Which theme song? I hear there's a rumor that Mac Daniels may be having a new theme song soon.
There is. I think the rumor's correct. However, his original by Logic is a good theme song. I think it fit him very well.
You mean
that's the big thing that I look at too, is like, not only I don't only want to like the song, but in entrance I want to be able to feel it and like have that really resonate with me, which is why I think I like Anthony Green so much. I love Ace Romero's because I feel like the energy every time he comes out at a Limitless show is insane because everybody's singing it. And I feel the same way with MSP too.
MSP definitely. I've told you the story before. Gangrel and I spoke, and he always said to me, the key to a great entrance is being able to walk to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's super. I mean, Ashley Vox using Hooked on a Feeling.
Oh my God. I gotta send you the video. I might post it online today. The crowd and the energy when she came out at the Vacation Land Cup was insane. Everybody was singing that song. Everybody on the feet. That's a really good one too. And I like Chris Statlander's a lot. E.T. by Katy Perry. I came around to that huge because I did not like that at first.
I'm trying to think any others that I really like. I gotta think about that. I always enjoyed Flip Gordon's, by the way, who we had on Living the Gimmick episode 200, by the way, and we spoke a little bit about Limitless Wrestling, and just, I can't put over that guy enough. That guy is like legitimately one of my favorite guys in all pro wrestling, and he's rehabbing right now, and he's debuting this new character, the Mercenary. I think there's huge things ahead for Flip Gordon.
What did he just do to himself? Because I know that he just got hurt recently,
He tore some ligaments, some stuff in his elbow. His knee is still banged up. So he debuted as the newest member of Villain Enterprises, and then that night he got hurt. So,
unreal.
Yeah, but he's rehabbing. He told us he expects to be back come September. So
that's good. That's not too long.
And I mean, here's your chance. Since we're talking 4 years of Limitless, you can put over Flip Gordon.
Yeah. Flip Gordon, I wish he played more of a part in Limitless Wrestling. But the few times that we did have him, incredible matches, and a lot of which are up for free on youtube.com/Limitless Wrestling. One war with Brian Cage. He wrestled Lindsay Dorado in Lindsay's final independent match. Really fun stuff. And Anthony Green very early on, if you remember that. I think that was the second Limitless show ever. Flip was a guy who I don't think it was very hard to see for a lot of people locally that he probably would not be around very long. And, luckily for, everyone involved, we were right. He's gone with Ring of Honor, and very happy for him. He deserves it. He's put a lot of work in, and he's a very talented performer. So
I'm
excited to see what he does next.
A+ performer and A+ person as well.
Absolutely.
Can't say that enough. Ring Loyals. Let's have a collaboration with Limitless and Ring Loyals. Not really a question, but more of a statement.
Yeah, I'm down. Anything like that, just hit up the email, randycarver@yahoo.com.
Victor, what is the lowest capacity number that is considered a success at the Expo? I think already it's considered a success, given that you're going to break the attendance record.
Yeah, I mean, the attendance record breaking is what we're looking to do, which that's 612, and I think, as we said earlier, I think we'll be able to achieve that within the week. However, I would like to do over 1,000. I think that's the goal that I essentially set in my head, when we announced this show, because, this is a venue that is, an 1,800 capacity, something, this is just above and beyond anything that we've ever tried, because, anything that we've really ever had in a big venue has been like a paid show. And by that, I mean something that, we're paid a certain amount to just come in and do the wrestling, and that's all we do. We did that for the roller derby, for instance. We do that for some fairs, but this is one that this is the biggest venue that we've ever done that's strictly Limitless Wrestling, all us doing it. And it's intimidating, but I do think that we can sell over 1,000 tickets. Yeah. I think we can do some damage on this venue for sure.
Yeah,
so,
Nate
not literal damage.
Nate had asked, is there seating capacity? So you're saying around 1,800?
Yes. So as I said, we had a couple meetings with the city of Portland this week. That's kind of the number that we've been roughly given, between 18 and 1850 of what our cut point's going to be for ticket selling. So that's going to be what we're looking at, because we are going to both sides of the bleachers theoretically will be down. So that's what we're going to be looking at for full seating.
Love it, love it, love it. Very excited. We have a question from Patrick. You mentioned recently the return of some YouTube exclusive shows to the Limitless YouTube. Will that mean the return of Limitless Profiles?
Yes. I don't think we'll have another Limitless Profiles episode for a couple months, but I definitely think that we'll be seeing that before year's end. The big thing right now is that Harry has been grabbing a lot of stuff for the production of the Limitless Wrestling documentary that we mentioned a few months ago. So a lot of the time that he's up, we're splitting between his photos that he's been booked for, documentary footage, and then footage for YouTube or unsanctioned stuff. So it's been a really busy time on the content front because we do have such a small team, but you'll definitely see the return of unsanctioned, at least one, possibly two, heading into Know Your Enemy. I think we are bringing back Limitless Top Fives as of this week, actually, with Calvin Strange. So a lot more stuff coming to the YouTube channel. Also, a lot more stuff coming to independentwrestling.tv. I'm going to throw a little plug in. If you want to watch some Limitless shows, if you're not a DVD fan, independentwrestling.tv is the way to go. They have an app now that you can download from the App Store. Check that out and use the code Limitless when signing up. You can get 20 days free. And there's, I think, 12 or 13 Limitless shows in full on independentwrestling.tv, including Hooked on a Friedman, Welcome to the Dance, and Snake Bitten from this year. So definitely be checking that out if you want to see more content. But yes, coming back to the original question, I do think Limitless Profiles does return. I don't think it'll be for a couple months, though.
And Jason asks, will we see another double event with Blitzkrieg Pro this year, potentially Limitless versus Let's Wrestle? I want to say this, because you just mentioned before about Blitzkrieg, you're open to it and would like to see another. One day, there is a major Let's Wrestle versus Limitless Invasion angle just out there floating. I mean, it's there. It's there for the taking. So I hope that one day we really see it.
Hey, man, if we get enough disgruntled Let's Wrestle folks,
Yeah.
I think we could see it.
I don't even think it's disgruntled, Randy. I think it's hungry. I think it's people who are looking
it's hungry,
to,
but disgruntled that they're not on the Limitless shows.
Yeah, I think it's people who are looking to make an impact.
So to start with, I would love to do another Limitless versus Blitzkrieg show. There's nothing in the works as of now, but the last one literally came together within like a month and a half. So I'm not taking it off the table for the end of this year, but Limitless versus Let's Wrestle is very, very intriguing, and that may be something that we do for the Bangor show if we end up doing that. But there's a lot of talented people in Let's Wrestle who just have not really been in Limitless or have not really got the opportunity to be back in Limitless. So, you look at like Mike McCarthy, Calvin Strange, Davey N, Sierra, Channing Thomas, Scott Wilde, Brett Ryan Gosling. These are all kind of pillars of Let's Wrestle. And I would say the Let's Wrestle are the Limitless Wrestling Dojo kids too, like Mac Daniels, Dave Dyer, the Dirty Drifters, Andy, Austin by the time that this show happens. I'd say, that grouping of people would excel, against a roster of Limitless Wrestling talent for like a versus show. So I don't know. Maybe we should do something like that pretty soon.
Give me 5-on-5 elimination in that. I'm a happy man. That is what I want to see.
We got to figure out the teams now.
That's what I want to see. And then we got one more fun one here to wrap us up. Jake asks, what's the weirdest wrestling-related experience you've had at the workplace?
I've had two that are quite comical. I had a manager one time at a previous job assume that I was selling drugs because there was some people who looked like they came to the service. I worked at a Toys R Us, full disclosure. There were some fans who came in and came to like the front desk, and I don't know how they phrased it or how they worded it, but they were looking to purchase something from me, and it seemed quite suspicious. So I was just when I got in for work that day, I was asked pretty bluntly if I was selling anything that I shouldn't be, and I'm like, well, I don't know what that implies. And we had an awkward conversation where it then sparked in my mind that they were looking for fucking wrestling tickets. And then I also cashed out Jamie Noble, who was buying his own like double pack action figure one time when they were up here for a house show, which I thought was pretty comical.
When would that have been?
That we're looking, I would say that would be 2016 if I were to guess.
Okay.
Because Limitless was going at that point for sure. So I would say 2016. It's possible it was 2017.
So he was just an agent, and he
went up I would assume. I mean, it was very early in the day that he was there too.
And he went up to buy an action figure from the Bangor Toys R Us.
They were in Bangor. The thing that I assumed, honestly, was that it might have been a part of like a Make-A-Wish package, or like maybe for like a fan or something who had a VIP thing for the show. But
you'd like to prefer to think about it as Jamie Noble buying an action figure.
Oh, yeah. I would much prefer that he's like, oh, this is the only place that would have my action figure, and he wanted to go grab it.
It was a Jamie Noble action figure?
It was the double pack that he had with Joey Mercury, where there was just the security.
Oh, when they were the cronies?
They were in suits, yeah.
J&J Security?
Yep, that's the one.
Very nice. Very nice.
What do you have for
I didn't even know that they sold J&J Security action figures, but that's...
Dude, they were actually a pretty hot sell when we dropped them at Toys R Us.
That's interesting. What's mine? Do you know what mine is? Do you think?
100%. Okay. That's why I was stoked about this question.
All right. So I knew that when I started doing this that this would be like some risky business, in the sense that I knew that there would be someone out there who would have a hard time differentiating between what I do in a ring and what I do on television. I knew it would happen eventually. And boy, was I right. So I've talked about it here on the show before. My first character that I did in pro wrestling represented, quote unquote, the station. Just this mythical being, the station, because the promotion was on television. Even though it had actually no oversight or anything on it, it was just a fun little way to incorporate a little bit of realism into it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorite stories in wrestling, and it still kills me to this day, is that they were losing television because am I correct in saying they were losing television because they were so behind on payments?
Yes.
Okay. So this company was losing syndication because they were too behind on payments. So they used Jon Alba as the station to take them off the air. And what heat you got, because they actually did go off the fucking air.
Well, they went off the air.
So good.
It took a few months, it wasn't just like
I know, but still, it still happened.
It wasn't an immediate thing, but so, they used me to get that heat, and then plus I'd like to think that I injected a lot of personality into it, where...
Oh, you did, yeah, absolutely.
Where, I mean, I've talked about it here on this show, the Jon Alba you're familiar with in Let's Wrestle and Limitless is a little more... It's a little more lighthearted, whereas this is like vindictive, like doesn't have a soul, anything. And one day after it would have been 2 days after I cut a pretty vicious, scathing promo on the fans of this promotion at a show, I had a note on my desk from my news director say, "Could you come see me for a minute?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "We got this email from a fan who," and he shows me it, and the email had extremely colorful language saying that did they know that their sports anchor was a vicious, maniacal jerk. This is paraphrasing because I'm not going to use the language that was used in this email, who is low-life scum and should be fired for taking a promotion off the air and talking down to fans and demeaning people and costing good, hardworking people matches. I said to my boss, "You have got to be kidding me. Like this can't be real." And he's like, "Oh, it's real." And like, I want to make this clear. I had cleared everything with my bosses, like before I started even working in pro wrestling, that like I was going to be doing this and that these are the circumstances and all this. Are you okay with them? They said yes. And I was like, "Well, I'm really sorry. Like I don't want you to think I'm misrepresenting the station." And he's like, no, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, I can't believe someone would like go to these lengths. But at that point, it was like a personal attack almost, in that like you tried to get me fired from my like real life career.
Right.
For
the literal thing that is your job.
Right.
You know?
For pro wrestling. And it was at that point that I had to come out and post something. I had to come out and say something. And I sent a strongly worded message to the person who messaged it to me. And I mean, I remember I told you about it and you were like, "No way." like you couldn't fathom that this happened. And
Yeah.
and you know who it was too.
I do.
So like, I mean, what was your reaction when you heard that kind of thing? Because like, that's like a really unique circumstance.
That's just like old school heat.
And like, okay,
honestly.
so like,
it's,
and part of me, I have to admit, I was thrilled. Part of me was like, yes, this is successful. The other part of me is like, oh, this is ridiculous.
yeah, it's new school, old school heat, because now they can send an email to your job
Right.
just showing up there.
Right. I mean, I guess it's better than like the, days of like Bobby Heenan where people would like try to stab him for like saying things.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than that. But while I was so thrilled to get that old school heat, it was like, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that someone would go to those lengths in today's age, especially like knowing how much the fourth wall is broken down in pro wrestling.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There was a show. This was probably 3 years ago now. Show I did for Larry Huntley at Old Orchard Beach, and there was a drunk fan who ended up getting ejected. And, he was going off about how he's going to slash Larry's tires. And Larry just kind of, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, the dude did end up slashing someone's tires. And it was Frenchie, the referee, Frenchie.
Oh, boy.
Anyone from Southern Maine who attends Larry Huntley's shows will know who Frenchie is. But all of a sudden, like, after the event's over, I'm at the gas station next door, and Frenchie pulls up, and it looks like he's driving a lowrider pickup truck, because the back is standing so much higher than the front. And I'm like, "Frenchie, what's going on?" He's like, "That idiot slashed my tires." And sure enough, his front two tires were slashed.
Oh my God.
Unbelievably. But yeah, shit like that does still happen on occasion.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Man, I went back and watched one of my old promos, and that character was like freaking best. I miss doing that. Just
was some fun
hope you never see that character comes to a Limitless or Let's Wrestle ring, because our last question comes from Eric. He says, "Will we see Jon Alba back in Let's Wrestle before year's end?"
I don't know. Will we? You're not technically banned from Let's Wrestle. You are banned from Limitless, but
you never know. And look, if Joey Eastman could show back up in Limitless Wrestling, you never know.
Listen, here's the deal that happened there. Is Joey Eastman did show up, but he purchased the ticket.
Okay.
Under a mask.
Why can't I?
My father, I grilled him after. My father was running the door this time. I grilled him. I said, "How did you not know that was Joey Eastman?" He said, "Who's Joey Eastman?" That was the end of the conversation. But he gets in there, and then Alexander Lee and Brandon Kirk are in there leveling our security, which is the Limitless Dojo trainees. I saw Andy get popped right in the face. He knocked out Mac Daniels. So, we tried to get him out of there very briskly. It just didn't work. And he's not yet reinstated. Let me remind you, the main state posse of Danger Kid and Aiden Agro still need to sign the reinstatement form. And if they don't, then he's not allowed in the building September 6th. And we've already said that.
Oh boy. We'll see. And as far as me showing up with Let's Wrestle, you never know. You never know. Isn't that part of the fun? Why would I want to tell you that? You never know. I'd like to say those people loved me up there until I told them that I didn't miss them. And then after that,
I mean, that was the kicker. You're right.
They didn't love me so much. And they didn't love my thinking and using the transitive property, talking about me being the father of Let's Wrestle. They weren't into that. But they did like me asking you, who's your daddy? So,
I think it was the shock value. I don't think they liked it.
To each your own. That's another edition of Ask Limitless. Make sure next time we do it, hashtag Ask Limitless at LW Main, at Jon Alba, at Randy Carver _LW. Did I get that right?
Randy _
Randy
Carver. Very close.
Yeah, you make it hard to remember. Whatever. It's all about branding, man. Maybe you'd have more followers if you branded correctly. Maybe you'd be.
I had Randy Carver LW, and then I got locked out of it.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
I know. Well, maybe you'd even be verified. Who knows?
Wow.
Crazy stuff. But that's another edition of the Limitless Wrestling Podcast in the books. We'll see you next time.